All right, awesome. So, I'm just gonna get in. I'm gonna get to talking, and we're just gonna have an open chat between you and me, and we're gonna sit back and smoke a joke and have a good old time. Okay, it's Saturday. It is beautiful weather. We have finally gotten out of this long rain. That's really what it is. I mean, it stopped raining for like 2, 3 days, and then it's been raining ever since. Today's the first day it hasn't rained, and the sun is out. It's beautiful. Took Sam to the dog park. She spent a couple hours there just getting all that energy out. I mean, this is my favorite part of spring, is when the air is crisp, it's just starting to warm up, and the sun feels good, and it's still cool enough to where standing in the sun isn't going to get you, overheating like it does in later spring and early summer. Okay, so what we're going to be, hey, what's going on, Joanne? Yes, Sam is adorable. Nice to see you, Joanne. Okay. Okay, so anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted here. Hey, what's up? What's going on, Joe? Nice to see you as well. And so I saw you in Tomcat's live stream. So how are you holding up with the getting T-boned? I mean, are you? I'm sure you got whiplash and your bones are probably hurting, but are you recovering soon enough? So curious to see about that. But I actually got to watch a video today. It was talking about ghost jobs, and I thought it was really interesting. Considering the subject I just covered with the way the employment market works, and stuff like that. So it just. Hold on, I want to see. Okay, hey, two nomad dogs and they're humans. Nice to talk to you. Hey, Tim Scott. I'm up and walking today. My headache went away. Well, that's good. It means you got progress. Okay, so one of the things, so it's saying that there's like 9.5 million jobs, but there's 6.5 million unemployed people, which means that there's more than enough jobs. But then they're also not counting the skilled workers that have left the workplace, which is like another 5.2 million. So all in all, we do have a job shortage. It's talking about why companies do this, and the why companies are posting these jobs, what the benefit is for them, and things like that. And it was fairly interesting to see what the motivations are. First of all, like you got Walmart, they'll post the same position in multiple different places, not really because they have the same position in multiple different places, but because what they're trying to do is get their digital footprint out. It's part of their marketing campaign to be able to market a job. And that's one thing that's happening. So you'll see a job that's posted, and it's just because they're trying to get their digital reach. And then you've also got a lot of these companies, because when they actually do need people, because most of these jobs they don't need people anyways, but when they actually do need people, they don't have to start from scratch. They already have a pool of labor, and plus they also get an opportunity to sit back and look for the best possible labor at the lowest cost, kind of wait until the American worker is desperate. Okay, and it did kind of start talking about immigration, and how immigration is starting to even affect the skilled workers, and how artificial intelligence and automation is starting to affect the the skilled labor worker. Right now, the American worker is under so much attack, and it's been happening for so long that we just thought it was normal, and it wasn't normal at all. This is a failed immigration policy. We can sit there and say that the breakup of the two person home, and the breakup of the home was really what put us down the path that we're on, with needing two incomes and things like that. But here's the other thing that you need to consider, is that if they are keeping your wages low through wage suppression because of immigration, and we got things like that, we've got hold on a second, Sam, get your butt over here right now. Get your butt over here right now and kick it down. Kick it down. This is not the time. Sorry, this is not the time to do that. Kick it down. So, but it's something that that is really just it's an issue that I think that a lot of the way that they were able to break up the home was not only by policy, but by the way that the labor market is structured to favor the foreign-born unskilled worker, and things like that. So I think that kind of helped destroy the low income earner, or excuse me, the unskilled labor. And I would say probably about 70 to 80% of America in the jobs that we do are either useless jobs or unskilled labor jobs. And that's something to also consider. And when the guy was doing the video on this, one of the things that he brought up was that this is actually what started from Mao. And somebody had kind of talked about the 100 Flowers campaign, which I got to read into that. That's very interesting, kind of how the 100 Flowers worked. But this is very similar, is that the communists wanted to make sure that everybody went to work, that work was dignified, it was an honorable thing to do, but they didn't have enough work for all their population, so they created meaningless jobs to keep these people motivated until actual jobs that they could do would pop up. And so that has actually been the philosophy that the American businesses have also adopted, which is kind of funny considering, all the things that I've been talking about in the last couple of videos, minus the one for today. Okay, so that's the first part of the topic that I want to talk about. Let's see what you guys have said since I started talking. Yes. I'm okay. What's up, Outdoors? Nice to see you. Boomers retiring and jobs being created at a huge level. Yes, but with the automation of the workforce, okay? And I always tell this story because this was something that was just, it was shocking to me. Owning a janitorial business, one of the things that you can do that makes a lot of money is floor care, okay? Whether it be running an auto scrubber just to keep the 40,000 square feet, you're not gonna mop it. You wanna use an auto scrubber, okay? And for those of you that don't know what an auto scrubber is, you probably see those machines like in the grocery stores that people are riding. Well, they also have walk behind ones as well. So what it does is it has a brush, it spins, so it sprays water down, the brush scrubs the floor, and then there is a squeegee behind that sits there, squeegees it with a wet dry vacuum that pulls all that up there. So it mops, scrubs, and dries as you're going along, okay? So one of these machines, like if you wanted one with a battery that you didn't have to run around with a cord, you're gonna pay about $5,000 for it, okay? $5,000 out the door. If you want one with a cord, like what I had, because I was, trying not to spend $5,000, is you will get one with a cord for about $2,000, okay? And you're probably gonna wanna get like about 150, 200 feet worth of cord because you're gonna be going anywhere and everywhere, and you need to be able to get around, and you need to be able to, kind of figure out your transition from plug to plug, okay? So with that happening, as soon as I was starting to, walk away from the janitorial business, I was getting calls from a company saying, hey, for $60,000, we will sell you an auto scrubber. And this auto scrubber has special software in it that will allow you to train it. And that way you can get it to go and do all the auto scrubbing that you want. And then all you have to do is pay $5,000 a year in licensing fees. You realize that within the first year, if I'm running that thing at least 12 hours a day, that means I am, something like a grocery store, I'm probably going through about 4 or 5 times a day, over like a 12-hour period of time to clean up and keep the floors clean. Now, for that in itself, having that much labor, I could pay for that machine in a year, and then the $5,000 profit I would make that I would have to pay every year to them for the licensing fees and the maintenance fees for it. That is how the workforce is getting automated. So even something that's skilled within the janitorial field, that is with floor care, that is being automated not only by artificial intelligence, but by advanced robotics as well, and things like that. So this is something that, we could say that the boomers are going out, but technology is filling the place of the boomers, okay? So they knew 50 years ago that we would hit the job shortage, but COVID sped it up. Yeah, possibly. What happened to your comment there, Outdoors? Okay. I just got done watching last video, Joe. Okay. Right on, Dread. Okay, I talk about all kind of random stuff. Yes. That's the cool thing about Joe, and it's his filter tube of doom and his eat my short session. Okay. I was a janitor last year for 4 months. I enjoyed it. Janitorial, especially if you have any type of mental health issue or social disorder or anything else like that, janitorial is one of the few fields that you can do that is actually productive for you as an individual. Okay, because you're being left alone. You work in the middle of the night. You're cleaning. You get to do meaningful work, and it's just you and a couple of guys that are cleaning a building, and so you get your peace and quiet while you're at work doing what you want to do. Janitorial is probably one of the most. It's almost has a similar effect to going out and living in the woods because of the peace that you get, because while everybody else is up and running around, you're sleeping, and when everybody else is asleep, you're up and you're working. Okay, unless you do what I usually did, which was get like a lead position, which meant that I had to work the morning shift and cover work orders and things like that. So okay, I've been watching your videos for a little bit now. I like it. Never know what the topic is going to be. Yes. Yeah, Dread, okay. I ruined it, was worded wrong. Oh, okay. All right. So, as far as that goes, okay. So I also got a comment from somebody today, and I kind of, it was a not well, it was a message. So you can go to my website hobotuck.com, and you have the ability to message me there. Or you can message me through Facebook Messenger through the Epoch of Friar Tuck Facebook page. Okay, those are two ways to where you can get to me directly, or you can send me an email. My email is changing for the time being, and I just found out something new, but I'm okay with it. So I was supposed to have paid $10 for the whole year for GoDaddy. That was the reason why I did it. But apparently it's $10 a month. But with everything that I'm making, especially from Patreon, I can figure out a way to come up with $10 a month to make sure to keep that website going, because it's gonna do a lot better for me moving forward. But this individual actually sent me communication through my website. It was asking for a little bit of a pep talk, because so many people, they have helped homeless people, and they have had negative experiences, whether it be the homeless individual physically assaulted them, did other types of assault to them, that was belligerent, stole from them, and other things. And on one hand, I can't sit there, I cannot defend somebody that does something like that. But what I can say is that when it comes to the homeless, there are all kinds of different individuals. You got to realize that out here, the average homeless person is broken in some form or fashion. Okay, even me, I have my own issues that I have to deal with. Most of my issues, it's just motivating myself to do my activities of daily living. Certain tasks that I've kind of given up on, has made it more of a struggle to be able to function and do certain normal things. Like today, I was going to go take a shower, but I'm like, I'll take one on Monday. Things like that. But we all have our issues out here, and it's not that it's not that I guess what I'm really trying to say is you can't lump all people into one thing based upon your experience. Now, when you run into homeless people, how do you avoid these things? How do you know who to help and who not to help? And this is why I always talk about it. And there have been other people that have come behind me to say that I'm 100% correct, and to vouch for what I say, which is you need to get to know your homeless person. Okay, you get to know someone for a couple of weeks to a couple of months, you will learn real quick, whether or not they're full of it, whether or not they're doing what they say they're going to do, whether or not they're making excuses, whether or not this is somebody you want to spend your time on. And even if it's not about money. Okay, it's not about resources. It's about the fact that somebody gives a damn and is willing to stop, check you out, get to know you. Okay, get to figure out what your issues are and how they can help you. Okay, when it comes to being out here again, we are the broken of the broken. We are Humpty Dumpty who fell off the wall and cannot be put back together. Some of us. Okay, some of us can get back up on our feet. Some of us have been knocked down so many times that there's so many cracks that it's just either you lose the motivation to get up or you just give up. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you stop helping the homeless. It does not mean that all homeless are going to be bad, going to give you bad interactions and bad experiences. When dealing with the homeless, you can discern certain things. Okay, somebody says that they're going to do this. Okay, did they do it? If they did do it, how did it turn out? Okay, you get an A for effort. Sometimes you try things and you fail. It's not about being successful all the time. It's about being successful that one time, finding that one thing that works. So you know how many YouTube channels I started before I finally got one where I got more than 100 subscribers? You know, do you know how many times I started a business before I ran into my janitorial business and it started taking off? You could try a lot of different things and you're going to fail, and that's okay. Failure is an opportunity to learn, not only to learn what not to do, but what did you do right, what did you do wrong, and what can you take from this. Okay, this is basic things I think most of us were taught by our parents growing up or by our elders who were wise enough to teach these things to us. Okay, so just because they failed, did they try? Did they give a good effort? Was it worth it? And what experiences do they have to share with you, and what lessons do they have to share with you that they learned? Okay, well, if you're seeing somebody that's learning, that is trying to do something, but is just running into a lot of different obstacles, okay, that's somebody that is a candidate that you may want to help. Okay, but let's just say that whole thing happens where they said they were going to do something, but they didn't, and then they said the reason why they didn't do it was a bunch of excuses. And it's like, okay, I've heard the same promise and the same excuses. The last 3 times that I've ran into you, nothing seems to be changing. You are somebody that is hoping that somebody does everything for you because you either you don't want to or you just lack the desire to. Okay. And so somebody like that, you may want to ask yourself, do I want to take this person and lead them by the hand and take them place to place and get this done because it needs to be done? They're just incapable of it, or they struggle with it. One thing for me, whenever I go in to do any type of bureaucratic paperwork, I always ask for help filling it out, because when it comes to doing, filling out a lot of that paperwork, because of just how technical I can be about certain things, I'm like, I don't know, or I may not give the answer that they were trying to get out of me as far as the question that was being asked, or I may miss spots and things like that. So if I go out and if I got to do something and somebody says, hey, I want to help, I'm going to say, hey, look, I need your help filling out the paperwork. Can you take me there? Can you fill out the paperwork? I'll do everything else. I'll take care of everything else. I just need somebody to help me out with the paperwork. They may need something like that, or they just may be using, just trying to play the whole woe is me card to garner sympathy, because they know that people just want to feel sorry for somebody and then perpetuate the problem by encouraging bad behavior and bad character traits. Okay, but does this mean that you don't help homeless? No, this does not mean that you don't help homeless. What it means is you get to know the person, you get to understand the individual, you get to know what's making them tick. Why do they get up every morning and survive? Okay, what gives them that desire? Is it just because it's built-in instinct, or do they have something that motivates them? Okay, for me, it's Sam. Every morning, she's what motivates me to wake up in the morning and to be excited and to be happy, because I know as soon as I wake up, I got to pack up camp. I got to make sure that she's fed. I got to take her to the bathroom. I got to take her to do this, and then I got to go take her to play. So she gives me something to focus on and to be accountable for in the mornings. Okay, and so she, whether she realizes it or not, or whether it was intended or not, she is helpful to me. Okay, but again, getting to know the individual that you want to help is probably one of the most important things that you could ever do, because if you don't get to know them, then you won't understand what their needs are, and the things that you do for them really won't help. Like, for example, I had a lady, she asked me, do you need some clothes? I said, yeah, I could use some pants. I just switched down to 38, so I could use something. I got short legs. So instead of just giving me a pair of pants like I asked for, or even asking me, hey, do you need this? Do you need this? Do you need that? She gives me this whole bag with like 5 shirts in it, like 5 pairs of socks and a pair of pants. And, the pants were like 8 inches too long for me. It's like, well, I mean, I can't wear them because the way the legs are made, they're too long. And so I ended up having to take it to the shower house and tell them, well, when you find somebody with long legs, these are a good pair of pants for them. And I even gave away a couple of the shirts, but all I was looking for was a pair of pants. If she would have asked me, hey, do you need shirts? I'd have said no. She asked me if I needed other things. I'm like, no. But she just kept coming and handing things. And a homeless person is never really going to turn anything down. But the thing is you keep throwing things at them thinking that, oh, I'm going to help you here. I'm going to help you here. You don't realize that, hey, I've got all the gear that I need. One of the things that I'm working on is, so on payday, I'm going to buy Sam a doggy sleeping bag. At first, I didn't think I needed it, didn't want it. I had somebody offer it to me. I wish I would have taken him up on it, but I didn't. And so now I got to go ahead and I got to pay for that myself. Okay. But that's just something that as an individual, I've got to work with. Okay. And so, I ask around, I'm like, hey, do you have, do you have a doggy sleeping bag? Things like that. I ask for what I need. But if you just want to come up and just throw me all of your goods, I may not need all that. Some other person may need all that. Some other person may only need a couple of items over that. And if you really want to be efficient in the way that you help the homeless, you give them what they need. Okay. You don't sit there and load them up with a bunch of crap because, my backpack gained 10 pounds just from all the extra clothes and stuff like that I got that I really didn't need, because I only take maybe one shower a week and I wear maybe 1 or 2 shirts a week, and I switch out my pants once a week when I go take a shower. Past that, I don't need 4 or 5 pairs of pants. I don't need 7 or 8 shirts. I don't need 20 pairs of socks. All that is taking up extra room, adding extra weight. And, it's cotton, which means when it gets wet, especially with the rain that we're having, I had a pair of socks that I had to dry out last night because a part of my bag got wet. Well, you know what? Wet socks, you can't wear wet socks. So now, not only that, it weighs more. Okay. And so like when you're thinking about helping the homeless, again, getting to know them, getting to understand their needs, and then getting to realize whether or not these people are worth your time. But even if they're not worth your time, as far as like, oh, well, I want to, give you $20, or, oh, I want to buy you something to eat, or, oh, I want to buy you some clothes, or, oh, I want to buy you a tent, or, oh, this or that. Maybe those people that you're like, okay, I don't really want to help you out in this way because I see that it's not really going to be anything that's going to have a positive impact on your life. So, for example, somebody once told me how he gave a guy like a job, and he got his first paycheck, and he drowned himself in alcohol and died of alcohol poisoning. Okay, well, you don't want to be that person that gives somebody a $20 bill and then that's their last day on earth because they just went too far because of their own issues. Okay, so just being their friend, even if you're not going to do anything else for them, just being their friend is all you can really do. And, stop in, check on them. Maybe time will change because, when I first started coming out here, it was people like, hey, I got a place over here. No, I'm good. Hey, I got a place over here. No, I'm good. And as time has gone along, I've started to reconsider it. And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what? That's probably a good idea. No, I probably should take this now. Because you have to reach a point when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when you're at the bottom of the barrel, the only way you can really get off the bottom of that barrel is when you make that choice of you're done being sick and tired. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay. So it looks like we got a lot here in chat. Let me see what you guys had to say about that. So, okay, most service jobs are now mostly busy work and they're useless. You could get rid of probably about 40% of jobs right now, and the companies would still run. Another thing that these companies are doing is because they say that they're hiring, it gives a false signal to their investors that they're growing and that they're doing good as a company. They just can't meet they can't meet the demands because they lack the ability to perform service because of lack of employment, instead of being able to blame it on what's really going on, which is a recession or people are spending too much money and all these other things. So humans work at a day shelter for homeless. I love your take on some issues. Yes, I assume everyone's hostile until I get to know them. Yeah, I think that's a good rule of thumb. Always tread with caution because I've come up on across people. And at first, it's like, okay, that person, just the way that they conduct themselves looked fine. I don't see him as a threat, but then I get to talking to him for about 30 seconds, and I'm like, okay, this dude's raising the hair on the back of my neck. I need to get out of here, or something's gonna go the wrong direction. So yes, I think it would be a good idea to at least, not really, you're innocent until proven guilty, but go in with the presumption that they may actually be hostile. Okay, so don't be hostile to them, thinking that they're hostile, because what you're going to end up doing is creating hostility. But if you are kind of skeptical in the sense of like, okay, this person may be hostile, that's different than okay, this person is hostile, because is a definitive statement. May is vague, and so therefore it's an assumption instead of established fact, like is. Okay, so working at the shelter is triage, sorting who we can help. You know, there's so much corruption that goes on within the shelter system, or the people that they could really help, they're too busy putting barriers up because they want to help the ones that don't want to help themselves. So the people that that could really benefit from the homeless services end up staying away from shelters because of they see the negative effect of them. Okay, it's just something that happens. It's a negative effect. And so you run into that problem, and then what happens is because they stay away from the shelter out of safety, but then they get drugged down into the depths in a different way. So I mean, in some ways, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. My morning smoking coffee gives me a reason. You know what? Hey, I today an eighth of weed lasted me a week. I just ran out of weed today. So if anybody wants to put anything in my tip jar, it's down in the description. But anyways, my yeah, I love my morning wake and bake with a couple of cigarettes and a cup of coffee, and that gets my day started. Even if I go without breakfast, or if I've got a really hectic day, that kind of allows me to start the day off slow enough so that I'm not completely overwhelmed out the gate. So at least heart was in the right place. Yes. How much is the doggy sleeping bag? It's like $30 after shipping and tax. So, which really isn't that bad. $30 for the doggy sleeping bag. The one I wanted to get her was 35, but I want to get her something that is more synthetic instead of something that's got like a cloth inside, because the dirt and bacteria and stuff like that, and the ability to get it washed is going to be hard. The one that I chose, the one that I chose is more synthetic, kind of like how my Ozark Trail one is. That way, it's not gonna, she can stay in it, and I don't have to wash it like more than like once a month, because you do got to wash your sleeping bag at least once a month, because like your clean clothes, you get in there. Like I had a white shirt that within 2 days it turned almost black because of how much dirt's on the inside of my sleeping bag. I haven't washed it in like 2-3 months. So I mean, yeah, you should wash your sleeping bag at least once a month. So I need a shower. I'm starting to get right, but I've been too sore to do it. You know what? Take a bath. Instead of taking a shower, take a bath. Soak in it. Put some Epsom salt in there. It'll probably help you. So I used to see people down and out in front of stores, so I'd go in and get them a sandwich and a 40-ounce of beer. Hey, yeah, but if you brought me a 40-ounce of beer, I would probably take it, but I'd probably have to give that away, because well, unless it's something I like, like if it's ice, like natural ice, I might drink it, or if it's a Cobra, I might drink it. But for the most part, I've had many people offer me beer. I'm like, no, I'm good. And I've almost said, well, if you got a bowl, I'll take that, but no. So I do the same. I consider everyone hostile until I see otherwise. Yes. Okay, what is my profession? Okay, I don't know what you mean by profession. I used to own a janitorial business. Now I'm a homeless YouTuber. So I guess that's my profession. And what we talk about here is homeless issues. Not only how to help the homeless, but how to be able to survive as a homeless tips. And so if you're new to being homeless and you'd like to, and you're trying to figure out how to navigate yourself, how to be able to get resources, how to be able to get back up on your feet. A lot of the playlists in which I create and the content in which I create is geared towards helping people, especially those that are newly out here that are homeless, helping them get an understanding of how to navigate the system and use it to their benefit so that they can get back to where they want to be, which is being housed and being what they consider to be a productive citizen. So you make it up to Ohio. I'm actually in Ohio right now. I'm in Cincinnati. I'm actually at the Cincinnati Library right now. So, but okay, I'd pour you a screwdriver, but it won't fit through the phone. Yeah, well, when they can figure out how to get a screwdriver through the phone, we will have figured out the internet. So I'm an old. Oh, gross! Steel Reserve. I call that formaldehyde. I mean, that's nothing more than embalming fluid. I don't see how. My mom drank that. I tried it a few times. No. I don't want to be a mummy. So yeah, that's why I've done that. Hey, what's up, Bushcraft? Nice to see you, man. It goes good. Yeah, I saw your video with the knives. I like the mini one just because you got to be compact in everything that you do. So I'm in West Virginia. If you ever come up this way, I got 39 acres. You're welcome to camp in my building for a bit. There's a wood stove. Yeah, it's just been okay. Well, is Jack? Yeah, I've actually already got somebody in West Virginia that wants to put me up, and if I'm gonna go anywhere, he's gonna be my first option, and I will keep you in mind if things fall through, which I don't think they will. So, do you use government phone or paid one? So, Nomad, when I went through my divorce, because I was never really tied to my phone to begin with. When I went through my divorce, my old man wanted to make sure that he could get a hold of me whenever he wanted. And, if you're going to claim that right, you have a duty and obligation to provide the phone. So he's provided the phone for me since my divorce. I've tried getting out from under it, and the couple of times I did, it was I tried. It was good that I didn't because things kind of went wonky. Because AT&T was at one point in time, I was supposed to pay like $60 a month. Next thing I know, they're charging me $200 a month. But yeah, no, my phone is courtesy of my old man, and again, he wants to be able to call me and get a hold of me whenever he wants to talk to me, and so in order for him to be able to do that, he's got to provide me the phone. So I feel you, brother. I'm 24 in Parkersburg. If you ever need anything while you're up here, I'll try and help you, man. Not much, brother. Just got back to the house. Okay. Okay. Hey, what's up, Scrapper? Well, we're both doing pretty good today. We are doing, Sam got a couple hours of playtime, and she got to go to the dog park. So yesterday we had something weird happen. So something that really baffles me about people and their dogs is they want to sit there and yell at you. Like if Sam isn't doing what I want her to do, I give her a couple of chances to get it right. And if she doesn't get it right, then I force her to do it. Okay, it's part of her training, and she's got to learn that when I give this command, she does this, and there's no questions asked. It's not yours to wonder why, but yours to do or die. That's a motto that I'm having her live by. And so when I go to discipline her, to put her in her place and to show her that she needs to behave and that she needs to follow directions, I have people that come down on me and tell me, you're being mean to the dog's good, the dog can do no wrong, dog this and dog that, okay? But yet we go into these dog parks, and these same people that think that a dog can do no wrong, their dog is attacking mine. Actually, Sam got ganged up on by two dogs, and I had to go get in between them. And the people were oblivious. It's like, what are you smoking? Can I have some? It's just the people were they were nuts. I don't understand it. Because it's like, dude, no, at first I was like, I thought it was Sam that was growling at the dog, but no, I went in there, I broke it up, and then I took Sam off to the side, let her calm down for a second, because I thought that was her that was getting that was getting aggressive. And it wasn't, it was the other dog. And I'm like, hey, look, lady, that's your dog. And she's just like, yeah, whatever. And so you got two dogs that got Sam pinned on the ground, and one is starting to bite at her, and the other one is trying to keep her pinned down, so she was getting tag teamed. And as soon as I saw it, I mean, I came in there, I got in between all that stuff. But, this is something that we've been to the dog park. We went to the dog park 3 times yesterday, and we go to the dog park at least once a day. And over the last couple of days, I have seen that these dogs, they get aggressive, but yet their owners do nothing about it because they believe their dog can do nothing. Well, if their dog bites my dog, you better believe that I am going to raise a hissy fit, because if my dog were to do something like that, the amount of legal consequences that I would pay, and I'm on top of it, but yet these people who don't want to be on top of it are putting my dog in jeopardy, because when my old man, his first dog, and his next dog. So we had Daisy and we had Sassy, and my stepmom was out walking them, and these Rottweilers got out of their backyard. They either jumped the fence or dug under it, and they come running at my stepmom. My stepmom pisses herself, and Daisy lays down and lets the dogs bite her. She gets bit I think 4 different times. She got bit twice on the shoulder and twice in the ass. And it's one of the few times I saw my old man get emotional. And they had to take Daisy because the thing is the plaque that's on their teeth, it will infect the dog that they bite. And so she had to get shaved, and then they had to take these tubes and put it in there so that it could drain all that ooze out and stuff like that. It took I think a month or 2 before Daisy, was able to heal. And it took probably about 3 months for her hair to grow back. Okay. But that was kind of a really weird time. So I already know what happens if one dog bites another. And so these people that think that their dog can do no wrong, and then are allowing their dogs to bully and attack my dog, I have issue with it, but I don't know exactly how to resolve it, because I don't want to be a Karen, and I don't want to be a tattletale, but I'm also not going to allow Sam to be put in jeopardy. She needs the ability to play with dogs. She needs to be able to play with dogs. I don't give her enough attention to be able to satisfy her emotional needs, because she's very codependent. It's part of being a stray, because she was kicked out of a pack, that she always has that constant fear of loss, that constant thing. So if you've ever met somebody or ever dated a woman that was so clingy that you couldn't walk away for more than 5 minutes because she thought you were going to leave her and stuff like that, that's what it's like having Sam and dealing with the stray dog in some ways, because of how psychologically they are affected, because they're getting kicked out of the pack. Normally when a dog gets kicked out of a pack, that's a nail in the coffin. That's a death sentence for them. And very rarely will a dog survive very long out on its own, because they're pack animals. They hunt in groups, they work in groups, they do everything in groups together. Okay. And so just having those dogs around so that she can play is the only thing that I can really do with her, because I just don't have the capacity to give her all the attention that she wants. And I've gotten her to calm down a little bit about it, and settle down. But sometimes it's just as soon as she notices that I'm not paying attention to her, she just goes nuts, oh no, I need to be the center of attention. She starts acting out, spazzing out, and just going all over the place. And I'm just sitting there baffled, what the hell are you doing, dog? So, okay, let's see what you guys have had to say. Let's see. Right on. I'm just scrolling and trolling. Tuck is cool. I don't troll him. Well, thanks, Loki. And I'm just chilling, waiting on my youngest to get her butt up and around so we can run up to town. Okay. Went out to meet up with ride to Atlanta. You know what? I'm not riding a damn bike. I don't care. I couldn't keep up with you. You would probably be 3 days ahead of me by the end of the week. Okay. I'm not a bike person. I would love to bushcraft, but I'm not a bike person. And going down to Atlanta, that would probably be fun just for the trip, especially it being mostly downhill from here. So I wouldn't mind it, but no, I can't do it. I would love to, but I can't do it. I got a chill vibe from him, so I don't mess with him. Smart guy, and I feel like, okay. Uh, okay. To be honest, I feel that I'm sure I'll see you somewhere later tonight on these lives. Maybe. Okay. Do you have an Amazon wish list so people can buy it for you? I do not have an Amazon wish list, although I probably should create a wish list. I had one, but then I had somebody that bought out my whole wish list, so I didn't make another one. But I can make a wish list, and if you are a subscriber, you will see it in the community tab. And I will put it in the community tab for you so that you can, if you want to buy it for me and send it to me, you can. And the address and everything, I will make sure to include that in the description for you. But you can mail it to Friar Tuck because they actually have me down as Friar Tuck at the shower house, which is nice. Yeah, there's two things that I really want off of Amazon, which is there's for $100 there is a portable reverse osmosis water filter. Okay, and it also has like something for what they call thick water, and so the guy I met in Pensacola, he had this problem where he had problems swallowing with his throat and things like that. So people like that, you give them what's thick water, and you put some powder to be able to thicken up the water so that it doesn't go down in their windpipe and stuff like that, so that they can actually swallow. Well, this actually comes with the hard water or the thick water hose, and it comes with a regular filter hose. Plus, it does reverse osmosis, and it's pretty much its hand pump. And it looks like it may use a little bit of gravity to go along with it. But as far as like if you're wanting something that's going to be economical and that's going to work for you when you're on the road, I think that this is the best bet. But again, I got to afford it. It's $100. Maybe the following month I'll be able to afford it, but this month I've got things that I have to get, such as I need to get me a working kickstand. I need to get me some headphones that I can also use as a microphone. I also need, what was the other thing that I got coming? So yeah, the kickstand, the microphone, and the doggy sleeping bag. So that's kind of what's on my list right now, on top of the reverse osmosis, but I can't afford that this month. But hey, I will put a wish list up, so if one of you guys want me to do it, and then what I can do is do a review with it. And then once I do the review, then you guys can decide if you like it for yourself. So I'll be your guinea pig and I'll try it out. And if it don't work, I'll send it back to Amazon, and then that way you get a refund on it. So okay, so it's wonderful. Exactly. You're the pack alpha. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I've seen other dogs owners who are complete idiots and have absolutely no clue, aggressive because they have no training. Yes. Well, the thing is this is the way I equate it. Scrapper is, I equate it like this. These people that think that you should not discipline a dog have gone one of two ways. Either they over-discipline their children and they were so overbearing that their children hate them, and so therefore they went to the other extreme, instead of being overbearing, I'm just going to let them be laissez-faire. Okay, and then you have another school of thought, or another school that if they're not that one, then they're this one, which are the parents who never discipline their children. Their children will probably grow up to become criminals to begin with, or freeloading vagabonds, or whatever it is you want to call them. That's because that type of the lack of discipline in society is what's leading to the issues that we have. You're not allowed to, discipline your child. No, you should never hit a child with a closed fist, but swatting it on the butt, smacking it in the face, there is nothing wrong with that. Okay, because the thing is you learn real early on. So one of the things that caused me a lot of issues with the government and with my son, and I don't think that I did anything wrong, and quite frankly, most people don't think I did anything wrong, okay? Which is, okay, so my son he's not even 2 years old. And he turns around and he cold cocks me. He gives me a bell ringer. I am so proud of this kid, man. I mean, not even 2 years old, and he almost knocked me out. I mean, it was a hell of a hit, right? And I was so proud of him that I smiled and I laughed and I couldn't help myself because I was so proud of how hard he hit. I'm like, yeah, my boy is not a punk. Well, the thing is I also realized that if this was an opportunity to teach him, okay, which is, you're a kid, yes, you're going to do stupid stuff, but you need to learn that there are consequences tied to your actions. So I tell him, no, we don't hit. It's not a good idea. Also, if you hit, expect to get hit back. Oh, well, he's 2 years old. He doesn't understand it. Well, you know what? If he's doing what he's doing, he's going to have to understand it, because you don't understand certain things until you experience them. And it's better to be in a controlled environment with somebody that cares about you than being in an uncontrolled environment with somebody that could give two shits about you. Okay. And so he goes to do it again. I grab his hand, I stop him, and I take 2 fingers and I tap him on the face and I say, hey, look, no, we don't do that. And so he goes and he does it a third time, and I stop him and I take my 2 fingers and I smack him on the face. He just starts bawling. He just goes nuts, and it kills me. It's breaking me, but I'm like, he needs to learn this lesson. Okay. Because here's the flip side of that. If I would have never taken the time to teach my son that, what happens when he goes to school and starts beating up on kids? Is he going to be the bully? Is he going to be so strong that none of the other kids will be able to keep up with him? I mean, not even 2 years old, he gives me a bell ringer. Okay, I mean, that's a kid with some serious punch. Okay, and all these these little nuanced things that you really got to think about. And so, as a parent, as someone who is the grown up in the room, it is your responsibility to ensure that your child becomes a responsible and productive member of society. It doesn't mean they have to go out and get a job. What it means is that they have to be productive. They have to do something that contributes to society, whether it be being an artist, whether it be being a content creator, whether it be starting a business, whatever it is. You're contributing to society, but without any form of discipline, you're setting your child up for failure. And so now we wonder why a whole generation of children, because the baby boomers, they completely ostracized, they treated their children like crap. I mean, all of their children are a disappointment because you didn't turn out the way I wanted you to turn out, so therefore you're a disappointment. I'm taking you out of my will. Okay, so, oh crap, I'm getting old. I need somebody to take care of me. I better create another generation of children. So what did they do? They created the millennials. And look at the issues and things that we say about millennials. Okay, so again, they went from the one extreme to the other. So they went from disciplining their children to creating what is called the angry generation, to not disciplining their children at all and telling them that they could do anything they wanted, even though that was a bull-faced lie. And now we've got a bunch of children that are having meltdowns because reality is setting in. Okay. I mean, it's, and the thing is it goes right back to disciplining your children. You need to be able to have the ability to discipline your children, but you also need to have enough stay within you to not take it too far. If you're hitting your child out of anger, even with Sam, when I discipline her, I don't do it out of anger. I walk away before I do it out of anger because I'm going to hurt her if I do it out of anger. But if I'm doing it with the firmness and if I'm doing it with discipline and the idea behind it that she needs to learn this lesson or that the child needs to learn this lesson, you're not going to go as far because your emotions are not involved in it. You're not doing it out of anger. You're doing it to ensure that they have a productive and meaningful life instead of just being a vagrant or a vagabond. Okay, so those are different things that you could definitely that's just my opinion on discipline. Okay, educated. I've watched and subbed to his channel for a while. Okay, good, low key. As you catch the mermaid chick lately, no, I have not. Not unless you're talking about the girl that does all the cool drawings. Dude got her good, doxed her name, everything, trolled bad. She took down a lot. Wow. Okay. You know, being a content creator, I will tell you, I have learned that having privacy is important because you have people that want to come after you just because they can, because, you know, it's a victimless crime. They're keyboard warriors. They're sitting in a basement where there's no consequences because if they did something like that out on the schoolyard, they'd be stomped into the ground and they would learn real quick that doesn't happen. But you have people out there that have the protection of the internet and the anonymity of it, that they feel the right and need to be malicious towards people because of their own ideology. There's no justification for things like that. I mean, I understand people do it, and there may be some people who deserve it, but there are other ways to deal with idiots in the public sphere. You know, I mean, look at what happened to Walter Cronkite once everybody found out that he was a liar. You know, same thing with what is it, Peter something or other. Okay, a lot of those guys, once they got found out, you know, and nobody had to dox them, nobody had to do anything. They just had to be able to show how much of tools these people were, and that they were actually giving misinformation. Okay. Have a good day, brother. I'm off to scroll and troll for a few. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Lon Duvall, high five, Lon. Nice to meet you guys. Okay. So we have been going at this for about an hour. And you know, it seems like we've gotten into the conversation. I'm getting much better at it. It seems like we've got a lot of newer people in here, people that I haven't normally seen chat. I'm glad to see all of you guys in here. So I'm gonna give you guys like the last 10 or 15 minutes before I close out this live stream fully. I'm going to give you an opportunity to ask me whatever questions you want surrounding homelessness, how to survive, things like that. Now, I was yesterday, I was in the back alley where I tend to go smoke a bowl, and there was a lady and a guy there, and I went up and asked the lady, I said, you know, hey, I'd like to interview you because I have female subscribers excuse me, that are asking, how do you survive out here? Like what do women do? And I'm a guy, I don't understand it from a woman's perspective because I don't have to deal with the things that women do. Well, she's like, oh, I don't know what to tell you, man. I've survived by luck. But, you know, after asking her a few questions and things like that, one of the things that she said is that she's always had a guy with her, and the one time she didn't have a guy with her, i.e., you know, having a boyfriend or some significant other, the one time she didn't, because she'd already been out there for a while, she had already made friends, and those friends wanted to make sure that she was safe, and so they would check in on her, keep an eye on her, give her a safe place to stay so that nobody would mess with her or take advantage of her in bad ways and things like that. Just, you know, she kind of, whether she realized it or not, she was able to explain to me the basic formula of being a woman out here. And so just to elaborate on it a little bit more, as far as networking, you know, you as a woman, because when I see women out here, I don't trust them. I will not trust a woman out here. I've been burned enough times. So there was a girl last year when I was here. If you were on Patreon, you got to see the video about, what was it? Sleeping in a car in a parking garage. Okay, so I think that was in one of the hobo tutorials. Okay, and so the girl there, like that night, I was having trouble sleeping, and they were, you know, doing the nasty. And you know, when you're around somebody and they're doing that, you just pretend to be asleep. You know, close your eyes and try and ignore it as best as possible, right? Well, the next morning she wakes up and she just starts accusing him of SA, and it's like, and I'm just sitting there just looking at this lady. I'm going, what are you talking about? You know, and she's like, oh yeah, he was there. He could. Da, da, da. I'm like, no, that did not happen. You know, da 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 da. And so you have these women that in their own brokenness, because most, in the way that what that woman said was a little bit revealing, and you're going to need to have a boyfriend or a husband or a friend that you're going to be having romantic relationships with, because that person will be able to provide you with the safety and security that you as a woman cannot provide for yourself, because this is a male dominated world out here. Okay, and so you need a strong male that will protect you. Okay, so you have these women out here that they're shacking up with somebody, and that person will generally get them, off of the streets and into a place. Okay, so whether you want to openly admit it or just consider this, a silent understanding, but a lot of the women that to avoid homelessness end up shacking up with somebody, and when they get to that point where they're so broken because they have sold their body for a convenience, because whether you realize it or not, it is a form of prostitution, and it's going to have a psychological effect on that woman. And she's doing it willfully, and she's doing it out of the necessity to survive, and she's teaching herself these things and telling herself it's okay. But psychologically, it takes a toll. And those women that have done it for so long, that have jumped from guy to guy, that have been in and out, off and on the streets continuously, those are the ones that end up like this lady that I was telling you about, in the parking garage. Is they will just sit there and make things up, and they because they feel like they've been victimized by the situation, that they had to compromise themselves in order to be able to survive and have what they consider basic amenities. But women, in so many ways, women are a lot like Sam. It's like Princess and the Pea. Oh, I can't sit on something hard. I need to sit on something soft. I can't be inconvenienced. Oh, I can't have this much discomfort, because we have taught women that they are fragile, that they are precious, that they are incapable of doing anything that requires any real elbow grease. As far as women go, they're there to be pretty, to procreate, and to be taken care of by men. Well, they tell men that that they're pieces of crap. Okay, and this is just kind of the way that I see things, based upon my understanding and the way that I observe. And so I'm just curious what you guys think. Do you guys think I'm spot on, especially you females out there that have been homeless? Do you think that I'm right about this, or do you think that I'm missing the point, and that because I'm not a woman, I will not understand this? Okay, I would definitely love to hear that. Okay, so there's been some changes that are happening to the channel. I am in the process of taking away PayPal as a way to be able to do my tip jar. If you want to do my tip jar, you will have to do it through either CashApp, unless you already have my information for PayPal, which some of you do, because some of you send me regular donations. But if you'd like, you can go through my website, which is hobotuck.com, HOBOTUCK.com. And there is at the top of the page, you can leave a donation, or it's pay.hobotuck.com is the direct pay link, and you can do a one-time contribution. It does not do any recurring payments or anything else like that, but you can go through there. It will cost me less. It does take a couple more days to get to me, but it is allowing me to streamline everything through one place. And also, for those of you that are worried about like the negative juju that PayPal has because of what they did to the truckers and things like that, this is something that the kind of circumvents all that. So it's safe, it's secure, it's anonymous, it's a private payment processor, unless they take my website down and take my unless they go directly after my website, which means I'd have to do a lot of stuff. I'd have to be much more popular than when I am, to be able to be taken down. But it is a way for you guys to be able to feel safe and comfortable, not only that your information is not getting compromised, but it's also a way for you to do do it without worrying about, woke politics getting involved. Okay. So again, hobotalk.com. I'd love to get as many people over there as possible, especially subscribing to my blog post. That way, every time I post a blog, you guys can see it. Also, you guys also know how to leave a tip in my tip jar. Don't forget to become a subscriber. Okay. I'm about 51 or 52 away from my goal of 2,500 subscribers by the 17th. And then my next goal is going to be hitting 5,000, which is really going to open up. It's going to be a game changer for me, okay? So if you're not a subscriber, you like the content that I talk about, if you want to make a suggestion about my content, I'm always open. I'm always listening, okay? But that is the basics here, guys. I want to say thank you for showing up. Thank you for being part of this live stream. Now, I will see you on Tuesday. And Tuesday, we are going to be talking about homeless entrepreneurship, okay? And we're going to do the first installment of that segment, and we're gonna talk about certain things to do when planning to become a homeless entrepreneur, if you want to create your own job instead of relying on somebody else to provide you work. Okay, so that will be what happens on Tuesday's live stream. So I hope to see you guys there. I have this room reserved from 6 to 8, so I'll be inside. It'll be nice and quiet like it is right now. I'm in one of the study rooms here in the library. And so I will start it probably, I'm going to set it for like 6:05 to 6:15. That way I have a chance to, get in, get Sam settled down, and start the live stream. It probably won't last longer than an hour just because the library closes at 8 on Tuesdays. But yeah, on Tuesday, that's going to happen. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share this content. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next live stream on Tuesday.